Good evening once again. Here we are with another full moon event where the moon will be full, rising in the east and then setting in the west. It will be full moon for the whole evening and reach 100% illumination, what happens only one time out of every month, which is a fabulous event in which you don't need any person, world religion, or institution to tell you that this event is going to happen. As you can see from creation itself, the full moon is right behind me, and tomorrow morning when the sun rises and commences, it announces New Moon Day, or the first day of any given month, and in this case we believe to be the second month. In these videos we want to ensure that everybody understands that we are not teachers. In fact, we are pleading and requesting for other folks to help repair the breach. Every star in the heavens was named by Yahuah himself, as scripture in the word shares with us. And unfortunately, man, just as it usurped and hid the true name of Yahuah the Father, let alone the Son Yahushua, the same thing has happened with people changing the Mazzaroth, or the constellations, in the original names in Hebrew, again named by Yahuah, and robbed us of the good news message that is written in the heavens. So again, we're looking for fellow repairers of the breach to learn this information, as we are indeed not teachers. But again, we have no need of any watchman or self-proclaimed watchman on the wall telling us when New Moon Day is, when in fact the full new moon is right before us. So indeed, as it states in chapter 1 Romans, Yahuah's invisible qualities are indeed very easily and clearly seen for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear. So isn't it wonderful to know that the Almighty Yahuah is known as the Father of Lights? The Father of Lights. Not partial light, not a bit of light, but the Father of Lights. Full light. We are instructed to walk in the light. Why don't we do this? Why does the world continue with its world religions and its institutions and celebrations, its very traditions, celebrate in the dark? Notice how Christmas is celebrated in December when there's the least amount of sunlight. Notice how man starts their day at midnight in the dark. I can go on and on and on, but everyone knows this to be true and understands it, and why in its traditions, world religions, they actually create their own Festival of Lights. Well, the truth is, the Festival of Lights is right behind me. Every month we have our own Festival of Lights from Yahuah himself, the Almighty One himself. But we ignore this. People start their days in the dark, as we all know, with different world religions and traditions. So we can follow up on more of the history behind this, when this actually happened, and share more as time goes on. But let me share this one scriptural verse as well. It's from Mishle, meaning the truth, changed to the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18. The path of the just is as the shining light that shines more and more into the perfect day. There are so many scriptural verses referring to the light, not partial light, to the light. So much more to follow on this in this video here this evening. I will share a couple of websites that we can look into this and understand that the Bereshith chapter 1 verses 14 through 18, as it relates to the calendar and Yahuah's appointed times, refer to three components: the sun, the moon, with the stars. So there are 3 time measurements going on in the calendar of Yahuah. Is this complex? Not really. A wristwatch that has an hour hand, a minute hand, and a second hand measures 3 separate measurement units of time, but when put all together, allows us to meet and exceed our appointments on time, right to the very schedule that one sets. Well, these 3 components in the heavens, the sun, the moon, with the stars, is very much the same. When put together, we can meet our appointments, and in this case, his appointed times, the Moedim, if you will, in Hebraic. So this means we can know our new moon days without anybody or any self-proclaimed watchman on the wall, and we can rely just on Yahuah and His creation. To that, we don't need any man-made instrumentation or what some call wizardry technology to identify this. It's right in front of us, plain as day, as you can see behind me. And again, new moon day commences tomorrow morning when the sun rises. From there, we then could understand when the feasts of Yahuah are, the appointed times. And we will do one video a month in regards to this. And as we learn further with other repairers of the breach, we'll share what those learnings are, and hopefully these videos influence others to share even further, because again, we're not teachers. We are still students of the Word. We have but one teacher and one Father, and that's the Almighty Yahuah. And again, the Messiah, the good news, is written in the heavens from the start of Bethula the Virgin, the first constellation, or Mazzaroth, not Zodiac, all the way to the final constellation, or Mazzaroth, the Lion of Yehudah, where the Messiah becomes King of Kings and Masters of Masters. So more to follow in this one particular video. We'll try to keep them short and concise as best we can. We're not professional facilitators or presenters by any means. And again, we're very happy to be in this position, sharing this wonderful, wonderful good news message on a monthly basis. So more to follow in this particular video, and thank you very much for the opportunity to share in the name which is above all names. So I stand here this evening on the pagan day, June 1st. As I stated earlier, this evening the full moon in our area of the world will shine for the whole night through, just as Hanok stated in his writings in chapter 78. With this said, this is an event that happens every month on schedule, and the neat thing about the full moon as new moon, is that you have 14 days minimum of preparation to get ready for new moon day. And as stated earlier, tomorrow morning, when the sun rises and commences new moon day, this will signify the first day of the second month, in which we believe it's the second month at this given time. And again, we're not teachers, we are seekers of truth, and seekers of truth do just that. They seek truth and request help from fellow Bereans, repairers of the breach, if you will. And as we go along this journey seeking truth, many things in this day and age are revealing themselves to be true. So again, the calendar of Yahuah is 3 parts. It's, as it states in chapter 1, verses 14 through 18, the calendar is in conjunction with the sun, the moon, with the stars. And let me read a verse from Psalms, or Tehillim, chapter 19, starting with verse 1. The heavens are proclaiming the esteem of the Almighty One, and the expanse is declaring the work of His hand. Day to day pours forth speech, and night to night reveals knowledge. There is no speech, and there are no words. Their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all of the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them He set up a tent for the sun, and it is like a bridegroom coming out of his room. It rejoices like a strong man to run the path. Its rising is from one end of the heavens, and its circuit to the other end, and naught is hidden from its heat. The Torah of Yahuah is perfect. So, as I read this verse, the esteem of Yahuah is written in the heavens. But as man changed the original name of the stars, that esteem has been lost, and thankfully many of people are now learning this knowledge once again, and it's sharing with others. And let us be clear, we're not talking about the human-made zodiac and with all of its pagan astrology that it's signed to it. We're talking about the redemption plan of humankind, the good news message as it's written in the heavens, revealing the esteem of the Almighty One Himself. So this is far different than what the world proclaims in a zodiac, unfortunately, there are some people that don't want to learn this information and once again usurp the very name of Yahuah himself and keep this knowledge hidden and secret when in fact the scriptures state otherwise. Okay, this slide is showing a summary of Stellarium and the picture view of the heavens on the elliptical plane. Creation itself is for the Gregorian year 2015, 6th month, pagan day named June, first day approximately 11 p.m. at night. Last month, the full moon was in proximity with Bethuelah's feet. And it is interesting when you look at the constellation, the Mazzaroth. And again, we're not talking zodiac here, and we are not sharing anything in regards to a horoscope. What we're sharing is what the original star names were named as from Yahuah the Almighty himself. So as example, the Alpha star is listed above as Spica or Spica, and this is the Roman name. The Hebrew name was Zerah, meaning seed in Hebrew, or a seed cluster in Latin. The Beta star, Beta Virginis, is to the far right. The Hebrew name, pardon me if I get these wrong, was Sava Yahuah, which is a form of Tesiba Yahuah. Tesiba means beautiful or desirable. And obviously Yahuah is the name of the Almighty One. Therefore, the star originally was named Beautiful Yahuah. The Gamma star Virginis is in the middle of the bottom of the constellation or Mazzaroth. The star Gamma has the name Parima, which was the Roman goddess of childbirth. It seems that this name has been substituted for an earlier name, and indeed, some old star maps show this star Gamma as being called Al-Teshemek, instead of it being an alternative name for Alpha. In Hebrew, the word Teshemek means branch. Now I can go on and on about this constellation Bethulah and give you the original Hebrew names, and they will astound you. And for me, when I see this information, I start to understand why the whole world has been deceived, as it is written in Revelation. Just like the Almighty name in heaven's name was hidden and usurped with incorrect titles such as God and Lord, which are not even names, it goes to show why human beings would replace the Mazzaroth, the constellations, with the man-made zodiac and the human evil form of astrology that comes with it. So, at the beginning of the year, the first day, the first month, the full moon will be at the feet of Bethulah, and the sun will be in proximity with the Lamb, otherwise unfortunately known today as Aries. So that's the first month, and we went over that in the last video. Well, look where the full moon is now, and I want to really drive this point home. The process does not work with a conjunction moon as it relates to the messaging of the good news or the plan of redemption for humankind with a conjunction moon and or a crescent moon. It only works with a full moon. So let's go into the second month, the first day, and see a little bit about some of the constellations and some of the original names of the stars from the Almighty One himself. And as we all know, Scripture states that Yahuah himself named all of the stars, and for good reason. So as we look further, this evening the full moon is in proximity to the constellation and or Mazzaroth of Libra, which there is another name for it, but I will give you web links and other books to read to find out the original naming of them, along with their original names of each and every star. And you'll notice the scorpion below, and then the serpent. Many believe the serpent, the father of all lies, was and created the first lie, created sin, so to speak. and Libra represents scales. Sin indeed will be weighed. And as we all know, the sting of death, as represented by Scorpio, is sin. Again, the sting of death is sin. So, is this far-fetched? It is what it is. It's in the heavens. The names refer to every one of these messages. It's linked to Scripture. And as I read this evening from Psalm 19, the esteem of Yahuah himself is written in the heavens. So these are the first 2 months of the year, and we plan to share these videos each month, go through all of the Mazzaroth and the link to Scripture. And again, we are not teachers. We're pleading with others to help repair the breach. This is valuable information. We're not talking about someone's horoscope here. We are talking about and sharing the plan of redemption for humankind. Remember, people in ancient times did not have screen time like we have today. They weren't looking at a YouTube video like you are here this evening. They were sleeping on their rooftops in most cases, and their TV or screen time was the heavens themselves. You may ask how the Magi knew when the birth of the Messiah was going to be. It was all about the stars. How did Simeon know how long to stay alive in regards to understanding that he was the one that was going to circumcise the Messiah? So, the timing of events as it relates to the appointed times, as it relates to Genesis or Bereshith, chapter 1, verses 14 through 18, is about the sun, moon, with the stars, and you're getting a glimpse of this. We do not profess to have the whole truth and nothing about the truth on this subject matter, and that's why we request others to join the quest in seeking further truth in this subject matter. So the question is there a gospel or a good news message in the stars? Below this title is the actual website link. Feel free to go to it. Again, we are not teachers. We are looking for folks to help repair the breach. This information is real. There is enough history and historical documentation that proves that man once again changed the original names of the stars. And as Scripture states, Yahuah himself named the stars. But unfortunately, man changed them into a zodiac, into the format and practice of astrology, which this is not that. There is another book, Tim Warner, called Mystery of the Mazzaroth, Prophecy in the Constellations, which is another option if this information interests you and you want to be part of the repairs of the breach, looking at this and moving forward. Again, this particular book backs off of other books that were written long ago, one of them from Bullinger called The Witness of the Stars. So there's much information on this. This is nothing new. And what is new is it's been hidden from most people, if not all. There is a reason, again, why the whole world is deceived. So welcome to this information. We thank everyone for this opportunity. And as you go through this information and you start testing and proving all things, you will learn the new moon order does not work with a crescent moon methodology, a conjunction moon methodology. This good news message only works with a full moon methodology. So don't take my word for it. Go out in the wilderness, enjoy creation, and test and prove all things. If you can't go out and test and prove all things in the wilderness, and you live in a highly populated area where there is what is called as light pollution from humankind with all of its skyscrapers, etc., and you can't see the sun, the moon with the stars, and the constellations that we're sharing, again, There is Stellarium. You can download this off the web for free. And there's an app for all iPods and iPads called Skyview, and this is free as well, and it'll help in this material. So there is a lot of devices, but if the power does indeed go off one day, which we believe will happen, unfortunately, this methodology will work for you to identify new moon days, the true Sabbaths, and the appointed times of Yahuah. So very interesting and a lot of fun. So once again, thank you for allowing us to share in the name which is above all names. And feel free to critique these videos. We're actually requesting it. The information provided and the feedback provided makes us search the scriptures further as solid and robust Bereans that check the scriptures daily to see what is true and what is not true. And we welcome fellow Bereans to help us repair the breach, so to speak. And we cannot do this on our own. And again, we are not teachers. We do not have the whole truth and nothing but the truth, as some proclaim. But what we do know is what we've tested and proved out in the wilderness, and what will work when the lights indeed do go off for mankind. So again, in closing, thank you for allowing us to share in the name which is above all names. Have a great evening, and at sunrise tomorrow, happy new moon day, and welcome to the second month, and looking for further feedback. All the best.